A lot of people have been asking me, where do locals go out in Medellin? Okay, and as a tourist here, or as a first time visitor to the city, you're probably getting stuck in neighborhoods or areas like Parque Geras, La Setenta, and you're not really getting out into the city to see where locals are partying, where they're spending their weekends. Okay, so where we're going to go today is a neighborhood called Bejo. Now, Bejo is in the north of the city, and it's a neighborhood that up until, well, mainly last year, it was a no-go area. You really couldn't come into this neighborhood. I was here a lot during that time, and personally, I never had any problems. But there was a major gang war going on. Okay, so the capos were arrested. The main gang that was here in Bejo, the capos were arrested, and there was a major power struggle going on, which resulted in, unfortunately, a lot of deaths on a daily basis. Um, there was violence throughout the neighborhood. And this is in a lower part of the neighborhood, so it would have been a little bit safer, but still not the best. Okay. Now, happily, things are a little bit cooler this year, a little bit calmer, and so I'm going to take you down with a few friends to see how things go down on the weekend. Okay. Now, this is an area where you're not going to see any foreigners at all. It's pretty much a Colombian only neighborhood. Um, People are surprised when they see somebody who's not from around here, but they're very welcoming. They're gonna welcome you along. They're gonna invite you to dance. This is a place. It's a Plazoleta, which is in neighborhood Madeira. Madeira is part of Belgium, and every Friday night from 7 o'clock onwards, or 8 o'clock really, if you want to be sure. 8 o'clock onwards, you're going to see people gather to dance, to party, to drink. Very cheap. You're looking at about 2,500 for a drink, which is maybe 70 cent. Um, these guys, they're going to be here dancing until about 1 o'clock, well, midnight at the earliest. They're going to be here dancing, okay? And you need to know how to dance, guys. If you're in Medellin and you want to go out, if you're not in a tourist area, you need to know how to dance. If you don't know at least the basics, you're going to be sitting down the whole time and you're just not going to be participating. Now, this particular spot in Bejo actually do run their own classes, so if you do want to learn to dance, it is a good place to learn. The classes, for example, they go on all during the week, but for Friday night before this video was taken, the classes would be in bachata. So there'd be a basics bachata class at 8 o'clock, and I think there's an advanced one before that at 7 o'clock. Now the beginners class isn't what you'd imagine a beginners class to be. You kind of need to know a little bit. So I'd suggest taking a few classes, maybe even taking a few privates beforehand just to get the basics down because they move pretty quickly. There's maybe 3 or 4 different rhythms that you need to know, 3 or 4 different styles. Bachata is very important in Colombia, and obviously salsa is a big one. Poro is a local dance that is only pretty much danced in Medellin, but it's a good one to know if you can get the basics of that down. Again, it won't take too long to learn Poro. Now, unfortunately, with this video, I've managed to delete a lot of the footage of the dancing. There's a nice tradition here where on birthdays, for example, there was a girl's birthday here. I had a nice video of her, and when it's her birthday, there'll be a line of all the lads who are there, all the guys who are at the party, and each one will dance with her for maybe 30 seconds or whatever, and you have to take part. It's rude not to. Now here, what you're seeing is salsa casino. This is where people dance in a circle. It's not choreographed. There'll be one person calling out the moves here, and the rest are dancing to the instructions. Right, this is very common in neighborhoods and dance schools around Medellin. It originated in Cuba, and I would highly recommend learning this one. The salsa will serve you if you want to dance one-on-one with a girl. It'll be very interesting, or it'll be very useful. But I mean, if you want to be engaged in a group like this, really learning salsa casino is a good one to start with. Now, the reason that I say it's important to learn how to dance in Medellin is that the nightlife is very different here. Okay, so when people go out, they tend to go out in mixed groups and they tend to stick within those groups. It's not like in Europe or the States where people really mingle a lot with groups that they don't know. It could be down to a myriad of reasons. But in general, people stick to their own groups. And if you're on your own or if you don't know people, the best way to get into those groups or to mix and mingle is through dancing. There's absolutely no problems going up to asking anybody to dance. All right, as long as you know a little bit. Like, don't go up and ask them to dance if you don't know what you're doing. But once you know a little bit, go up, ask them to dance. Yeah, you dance for a song, sit back down, all good. Okay, and that's a good way to start making friends. A good way to start integrating into the nightlife. If you don't know how to dance, that's not going to be a possibility. You can't just go up and sit down at a table without knowing the people. That just doesn't fly here. The same way it wouldn't fly in Europe or the States, right? So the main thing to take from this video, guys, get out into the neighborhoods, get exploring, and I'm telling you, learn how to dance.